Writer-director A.V. Rockwell's feature debut, 1001, won the Grand Jury Prize at this year's Sundance. It follows Teyana Taylor's Inez as she's released from Rikers prison and tries to pick up the pieces of her life again in Harlem, namely with her son Terry, who spent her incarcerated time in bumpy foster care situations. Having grown up with no family herself and having to scrap from the shelter system for as long as she can remember, Inez has no basis for how to be the mother she wants to be. She's young, she's impulsive, she's filled with rage to the point that it's visibly clear to see how she landed in the situation from how she reacts to certain things that happen to her early in the movie. But at the same time, she's also fiercely caring and loyal with a heavy sense of her own moral compass. 1001 follows her and Terry's life over a decade-plus long period that starts with Inez kidnapping him from the state's care and forcing the timid and sensitive Terry to live under a new identity. This means that he's portrayed by three separate actors throughout in Aaron Kingsley Adetola, Avon Courtney, and Josiah Cross. The movie also tracks an ever-changing New York City landscape from 1994 through 9/11 up to 2005, and the time jumps see us get time-lapse montages voiced over by speeches from the likes of Rudy Giuliani and Michael Bloomberg. It arrives at first in 1994 fully formed. The haircuts and costume design are instantly iconic and do that masterful sign of a job well done in a movie like this of making you feel nostalgic for a period you never actually experienced yourself. The relationships feel really lived in and you instantly understand everyone that you're seeing and all of their dimensions as a result. This is because it's so precisely scripted with line readings that are quietly devastating but also sound totally fitting to the characters, like, I don't know what to tell you, T, but there's more to life and fucked up beginnings, and what the two crooks know about raising a family. It marks a bold statement debut from Rockwell, who got her start directing shorts and has brought that ability to say a lot using a little to a longer narrative. Unfortunately, it's that longer narrative that causes 1001 to wobble a little bit. The 90s piece had me from the word go, and I wanted that to be the entire movie, but the different actors for Terry didn't really work for me. And that's not to say that they didn't do a good job. They all did a fine job for what they had in a vacuum and bring their own spin to Terry's quiet, sensitive nature. But at just under 2 hours, it's really, really difficult for all three to build and maintain chemistry to sustain the mother-son relationship that's central to the movie working. And that isn't to say that it doesn't work at all. Teyana Taylor has the kind of star-making performance that makes you say she's going to be fronting her own Marvel blockbuster one day, and I'm glad that I got to see the role that opened everyone's eyes and started that in motion. She is an absolute tour de force as Inez, from the word go, somehow managing to seamlessly blend intense rage, fear, and love, all working in unison at all points throughout, which, as the reality in New York and life in general begins to drain the fight from her somewhat, makes it noticeably upsetting. I also loved how it's a movie that's interested in telling the story of the Black experience in the 90s and noughties Harlem without making it about that. It's character-led, and Rockwell gives her characters the love and respect of not allowing them to be victims or stereotypes while telling the truth of their day-to-day struggles at the same time. As the movie hits its stride and comes together towards the end, you see that there probably was an outright classic in there had the baggy middle and actor switches not caused it to lose momentum. So 1001 is definitely worth your time if you're looking for a good character drama and a cathartic cry. But it's more a signifier of a classic piece still to come in the future for Rockwell and Taylor rather than actually being their masterpiece.